Welcome to the Music Business Show. This podcast is sponsored by themusicbusinessschool.com. Now, let's talk business.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dominic. How are you?
I'm very good. Hey, can you tell me where are you located?
Sure. We are located in Portland, Oregon, over on the West Coast. But Produced by a Girl has a universal wide reach. So we actually have people all over the world who come on the platform and participate and whatnot. So it's definitely a worldwide brand, but headquarters, Portland, Oregon.
All right. How many members do you have?
How many members? Oh gosh. Well, we're just starting out. This is our first year. So I would say 2 to 10 members right now who kind of keep headquarters running, and then extended members, girls who have come into the podcast, who we see as a little bit more of an exclusive tier and Produced by Girl. I think we're around 50 so far.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you have an actual office over there?
We do not have an office per se right now. We are totally remote.
Mm-hmm.
But in the future, I am definitely looking into having a headquarters where we can have artists come in and do more work in person with us.
So Produced by a Girl, honestly, I think it's an amazing idea. Where did the idea come from?
Oh, thanks, Dominic. Produced by a Girl, it's kind of a fun story. I am a producer in the music industry, and as part of my development stage in the industry, my manager, Andre Williams, challenged me to come up with a brand that would fit who I am as a producer. And one day I was just scrolling through Instagram, trying to get inspiration like many of us do.
Mm-hmm.
And the name just popped out to me as I was looking for more of my tribe, like other female producers. And through that search, it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh, where's my girl tribe of producers? And I was like, oh, Produced by a Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So that name just kind of stuck, and I switched over the handle on my Instagram page, and that was the first initial little spark, and it grew from there. And so after that, the name recognition, I started to build a brand around it, and my team and I found out that the name not only represented who I was as a producer, but it also had the potential to support and empower the whole set of female producers, artists, DJs, audio engineers, the whole female subset in the music industry. So it evolved into what it is today. So that's how it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you think, in general, do you think it is more difficult to succeed in the music industry when you're a woman?
I definitely, that's a great question. I think women have a little more hoops to jump through. They haven't had these inroads to the music industry, and that may be just because they haven't been in the culture for as long as their male peers have. So I don't like to say it's harder. I just think that females today are learning how to make more inroads in the industry, and when you make inroads, you of course want to have females that have gone before you to make that path a little bit easier. So I think right now, the females in the industry are encountering some more open doors. We're seeing a lot more organizations that promote women in the industry, and that's great. However, if you asked me 10 years ago how it was for female producers, I would have had a very different answer, and just chatting with my other female producer friends, the industry has changed a lot. Today, there are many more opportunities. 10 years ago, it definitely felt like females were more of an underground subset where we had to do a lot of research and collaborating and networking, and it was much more difficult for us to break into studios that may have just been all male run because that's how they started, and that was just the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
So I think women had to learn how to collaborate and make connections with some amazing male peers in the industry who let them in and mentored them. And I myself have had an amazing opportunity to be mentored by my manager, Andre Williams. He's an outstanding male in the music industry, and I feel very lucky that has been my experience. So for other females today, I would say it's easier. Was it as easy back then? I would say no. It was very different. And that we could probably discuss for hours on end, but I think I'll leave it at that.
But all this is really positive, like I feel like women, women are good. They're really, really good. I hear what they're doing. They're also great musicians, great singers. I mean, I'm happy that they're getting more involved. And I think you mentioned something too, I think education is a big part of it. I'm a music industry teacher for almost 2 decades, right? And I remember like almost 20 years ago, the classrooms were full of guys, almost no ladies in there. And and you can see the switch nowadays. It's half and half, and sometimes even more girls than guys. So that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes, and Dominique, that is one of the things that drew me to your organization and the Music Business School, and I hope I get to learn more about the initiatives that drive your mission. But one thing that stood out to me was you're very welcoming to the female population of industry experts, and I really enjoyed just learning about what you do and how you've embraced our organization, Produced by a Girl. It gives me hope that will be more and more the norm. And I actually thought it was so fantastic that you're putting on business events, because that is one area I'm so passionate about for women in the music industry to embrace more. I do think some of my other male peers in the industry have a lot of knowledge in that area, negotiating finances and contracts and just how the business of music runs. And as Produced by a Girl, we want to empower women to be knowledgeable in those aspects too. So I was so excited when I saw the Music Business School, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to get some girls in here and take some of these classes.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Thank you. You know what? You should talk to your members, and we can even design a course specifically for women. If you come up with an idea, let us know. We'll be really happy. We have women working with us in the team, and we can design course outlines specifically for what your members would need. That would be amazing.
Oh, I love that idea. Thanks, Dominique. I definitely will take you up on that.
Great. Amazing. Thanks. You said that you live in Portland. Well, the organization is in Portland, right? How's the music scene over there?
Correct. How's
the music scene over there?
We have a pretty good music scene. It's very eclectic. It's a little more underground. We're not as big as Atlanta or Seattle or LA. But in comparison, I would say we have a lot of cool indie groups. Like, we have great bluegrass bands and great punk rock and great alternative bands. And we have really great EDM bands and a lot of producers, and we even have some really neat hip hop artists in Portland, and so it's very eclectic. It's not as in your face. Like if you go into the city at night, like you don't really bump into a lot of music venues unless you know what you're looking for. So I always encourage people who visit to like really dive in. We have hundreds of music venues, but you have to like search and seek them out because we're not as big of a city where you just see these mass groups like circulating around some venues. Some of them you do, like some of them in the heart of the city are really fun, and in Northeast Portland and North Portland there and Southeast Portland, there's some great areas over there. But for the most part, you have to educate yourself about the music scene when you come here, and then once you find all the pockets, then you can really get into the culture more. And you know, Portlanders love anybody who embraces their culture, so you can get into it. But it's just not like, you know, if you go out in Atlanta, you're gonna bump into like, hey, we're going, you know, there's a lot more to do, a lot more music venues around. But so it's thriving. I would say it's probably headed more towards what Seattle was like maybe 10 years ago. So it's growing for sure. We're definitely getting a lot of headliners that come through Portland, and you know, there's some great recording studios around here. So it's fun. I love Portland. It's unique. We have a unique music scene. It's a little family. Everybody kind of knows everybody else. But I would say if you're looking for like a big, like in-your-face music scene, then probably LA or Seattle right now. You know, but Portland will get there. I hope for Portland,
especially with women working in the industry.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, there are some really, really neat. We actually have a really great female producer out here in Portland who grew up in the industry, and and so that I've been able to talk to on the podcast. Tyler Stone, she's amazing, and just some other female artists that are up here that are doing great too. So cool things happening in Portland.
All right, great for you. Hey, before we split, how can someone join your organization?
Oh, great question. Thanks for asking that. Yeah. So Produced by Girl, go ahead and come on in. We have a website, we have Instagram, Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we also have an app, so you can download the app on your Android at this time. Mm-hmm. There is a membership portal through the app, so you can go in there and sign up to be a member. That's our only really true entrance for a membership-like program where you can sign up and get notifications. Other than that, you can come in and join the podcast. We have 2 to 4 free slots open each month for artists, DJs, producers, anything in the music industry related for females. You can join the podcast, and the podcast members get a little bit more one-on-one just interaction with me. And so they get a little bit closer to the brand that way. So I would say that's probably as close to getting into the membership circle. We definitely want members to be on the podcast if they sign up to be a member too. So lots of fun stuff coming. We're still building out our true membership program, so look for that in the next year. But other than that, come on in through Instagram. I'm there following up with girls and answering questions, and we'd love to see you there.
All right. Okay, so thanks a lot, Mary. It was really nice to have you here today in our podcast. So I wish you good luck with this project. Well, it's already working well. So it's not about luck, it's about work, I guess, right? You probably work really hard to make this to make this happen. So congrats again, and we'll talk to each other very soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Dominique. And thank you again for sharing your business knowledge and your expertise with Produced by Girl. I look forward to working with you more. And thanks for having me on the podcast.